We're back. Ring the bell pods talk. Nick Kreider here, as always, joined by the three-time All-Star Heath Bell. Just closed out the second homestand of the season. Lost 2 out of 3 to the Cubs in heartbreaking fashion. Luke Voit came back. So did Will Myers. I think they looked fairly decent in their return. Luke Voit had 2 home runs in the series finale, but wasn't good enough. So they decide that they need to bring in another DH from the left side, veteran Robinson Cano. Keith, what are your thoughts here?
So here's the thing. So the homestand, it was a successful homestand, but we lost a series. So I'm not going to say it's that successful. I mean, it's one of those things, I know you can't win every game, but I mean, gosh, the Cubs, we should at least took 2 out of 3 there.
Oh yeah.
Luke looked back. He looked really good. It was good to see him back and swinging the bat.
He swings for the fences every time.
Yeah. And that's not a good thing, but, it's Will Myers was back. It was good to see, but here's the thing. I mean, besides Machado and besides Hosmer, who's hitting 200?
Nobody. Well, Cronenworth.
I mean, there's Kim hitting 200 a little bit. Here's the thing. The Cubs series, this is what I took away from the Cubs series, and I'll get back to your question. Cubs series, Trent Grissom in center field.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So many balls went over his head that it literally looked like he didn't know where the outfield fence was, and he didn't even try for him. I felt like he could have caught them or at least tried to jump up and catch them on TV. And if I was pitching, and I've seen some guys do that, and it's like, do you not know where you are? I mean, anyway, it just seemed like they were not playing defense the way they should be. And
yeah, it's frustrating. He was content playing the wall basically.
Yeah. But balls would still get over his head, and he turned around and it basically hit the wall and got behind him, past him.
Ridiculous.
Like that's AAA stuff, AA stuff, really. It's not the big league stuff. Anyway, so to answer your question, Robinson Cano, I thought it would be a good pickup, but it's just, once again, what's our front office doing? I mean, are we just trying to grab everybody that we could possibly get, or are we actually trying to build a family and nucleus? I mean, yeah, okay, Will Myers, Luke Voit, they've been hurt. So let's go get somebody else. I don't understand that. There's a reason why the Mets got rid of him. And the Mets are doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's not a team guy. Maybe he's not this. Maybe he's not that. I don't know. But I would like to say, on a personal note, Bob Melvin, it looks like he's coming back, and he's his surgery was successful.
Good.
Yeah. So that
was scary
nice.
For a second. You don't ever want to see that. I mean, health and family before baseball, of course, but
yeah. And then for us, I mean, the best offseason thing pickup we got was Bob Melvin, and then the first month of the season we lose him to health reasons. That you never want to see anybody lose from that, but it's great to see him back, or he's coming back, and it's going to be great to see him back. But I don't know. I mean, do we have a hole in the lineup? So we need somebody else. I mean, who are we going to get rid of? That's the thing.
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons, of course. I mean, the big con being him being older, 39 years old, later in his career, and there's not really many places for him to play besides DH. I mean, Cronenworth is our everyday second baseman, and he hasn't really played any other positions in his career. He's played, I think, first base or maybe like 16 or sorry. I don't know.
On the Padres, everybody can play first base. Apparently.
Yeah, exactly. But he's signing on the league minimum, right? So that's not going to cost us a lot of money. So if he doesn't perform,
anything.
Yeah, if he doesn't perform, then we can just cut him, right? And he's a left-handed power bat. Voigt's the right-handed guy. So maybe he's the guy that you spell in a platoon when we face righties, to get some middle of the order pop. And he's got a really great relationship with Tatis.
Okay. I mean, you think Cronenworth doesn't have a good relationship with Tatis, or it's just because they both speak Spanish?
Well, I mean, they go back from the Dominican. I mean, they're apparently like buds. I don't know how much that really
they're
means
buds.
to the locker room.
So Tatis is 22, and we're talking about a 37-year-old, and they have a great relationship. Great buds. Okay. That's like saying I'm really good buds with a 60-year-old. Like me and Greg Maddux were great buds. I would say we were friends and, teammates and great guys, but wouldn't say we were buds because there's an age gap there. I think we're saying that because they're both Dominican. They both speak Spanish, and that's about it. But does Tatis need a mentor? I thought Machado was that.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Machado stuck his neck out, and so did Eric Hosmer to have him on the team when he was a rookie and kind of show everybody what he can do. So why do we need his best bud to tell him not to do things in the offseason, to not get hurt? I mean, I don't get that part. So I think that's just
what do you
hogwash.
What do you think the biggest risk is here? Because like you just said, there's not many people on our lineup who are hitting over 200 besides Cronenworth, Hosmer.
Well, but here's the thing. So if he doesn't hit over 200, then what the heck are we doing? Because who are we going to get? I mean, Void, it was great to see Luke come back and hit 2 home runs in a game. But I'll just look at the lineup right now. I mean, Kim's hitting easy 200. Voigt's hitting 180. Grissom 180, finally out of the leadoff spot. I like that. Profar, he wins us some games from time to time, but he's 180, and he had 2 hits last night. Cronenworth is 220. Will Myers, it's great to see him back. Unfortunately went 0 for 5, the Golden Sombrero. He's hitting 200 now. So, and our catchers are hitting right around 200. So it's just we need somebody with hit the ball. But here's the thing. If we're going to have Eric Hosmer sometimes as DH, or are we just going to flip off Volt and Cano as DH? I mean, who's the DH now? I mean, are we going to, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, I think they're just grabbing whoever and hopefully it picks, or maybe we need to work on our coaches and tell our coaches, hey, we need to work on something, or our players aren't listening to coaches. I mean, I'm not in the locker room right now. There's sometimes that does happen where players, like Rick Ankiel was one of those guys, sometimes wouldn't listen to his hitting coach because his dad was his hitting coach and whatnot. But then again, I've been in the locker room with the Padres where the hitting coach was really bad and none of the players liked the hitting coach, his theory, of hitting. It just didn't make sense. And if the coaches are taking it personally and not like the first base coach, is helping the hitters and the hitting coach, and it's one of those things that not everybody's on the same page because everybody's there individually and we're not a family. We're not a unit. I don't know what's happening right now, but we're lying in the weeds right now. We're doing pretty well, but if our run differential for our standings, even though we're in second place right now, we're +8 where the Dodgers are 78, plus 78, and the Giants are +40. So this is a little concerning. And even though I'm enjoying watching the Padres, I think they're doing well. I think the chemistry's there somewhat, but now we're bringing somebody else in because he's good friends with Tatis Jr. That's not even on the team right now.
Yeah. I mean, to me, this is just a really big Preller signing. I think it's just a typical Preller signing where he's going out and trying to grab the biggest name possible that's out there to see if,
didn't Preller go out and get a lot of Latin guys in Texas?
Yeah. And then now they're on the Padres. Profar, Nomar Mazara, Alfaro.
And here's the thing. I got nothing against Latin guys. I think they're unbelievable players. But the Mets tried this years ago. Omar Minaya went out and got a bunch of Latin guys, got rid of a lot of like players like me and other guys. And it didn't work. It didn't work. You have to find a team. You have to find a family that sticks together. And you put Latin guys, you put Asian guys, you put American guys, whichever, but you got to find what works. And you just can't load them up and say, oh, these guys are a bunch of good players, so I'll put them together. Well, there's a reason why they don't win every year. There's a reason why, cybermetrics and all that number BS doesn't work. It doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if
good
this
movie,
one works
though.
out.
Good movie, Moneyball.
Yeah, Moneyball's great. Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill crush it. Yeah, we'll see if this move works out. I mean, I'm interested to see Cano in a Padres uniform. I mean, unfortunately, his legacy's tarnished by the PED scandals. I mean, he was for sure a Hall of Famer until he got caught once. Now he got caught twice. He's for sure not going to the Hall of Fame now, unfortunately. But that's on him. But yeah, we'll see if we can help him get a ring here in San Diego. We did send down CJ Abrams, something that we've been talking about for a while, and he hits 2 home runs in his first game in AAA. So it's good to see his confidence is not tarnished.
Well, see, the thing with CJ Abram, I think you mark my words, at the end of the year, if the Padres are smart, they're going to stick him in the outfield and let him develop into a left fielder or a center fielder, whichever one. Because I think those are the best 2 suited for him. And let him hit, let him play every day, let him get rhythm, let him do this. And we'll see him towards the end of the season. And I think he's going to help us out. I really do. But he's a little young. And unfortunately, we didn't play him right off the bat. Mm-hmm. I really think that's what kind of did him in like in the Arizona series. He didn't play a lot, played a little bit here, a little bit there. You're kind of a hot bat. Hey, you're making the team. I always thought this was really weird when some coaches did this. Somebody got called up. Okay, we're not going to play you. We're just going to let you ease into the big leagues. What other sport does that? Nothing. They bring them up. Let's see what the kids got right away. That's I think the best philosophy for anybody. So one thing I will want to say about Cano, and this could be for another episode, but explain to me why and when a Latin player gets caught for steroids or PEDs or whatever it is, once or twice, we always give them chances because, 3 times you're out. But an American player does it, oh my gosh, it's over. One time, we can't talk about it no more because he's no good. We can't sign him back. He's no good for the game. I'm asking you that, and I'm asking the fans. Please tell me that.
I mean, we've seen like Ryan Braun. He got caught, and he stuck with the organization. And they kept him there,
and everybody shunned him, and that's it. Nobody talks about him. I mean, was it Brett Favre? Not Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers, like, he's not my friend anymore.
Yeah.
But Tatis Jr. apparently is still good friends. So I'm going to keep saying that the whole episode because I think it's stupid.
I think a lot of it in those cultures. I mean, I feel like it was maybe more players did it back then. So, maybe.
No, but like now guys have done it. I mean, Bartolo Colon, I can never say his name correctly.
Bartolo.
Yeah. Bartolo, but he got caught twice and we still give him jobs.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't get it, Nelson Cruz, other guys, but like, let's just take Barry Bonds. Never got caught.
Yeah.
Said he did a cream and it was, oh my gosh, it's over. Or Mark McGuire, same thing. Oh my gosh, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit.
Those guys were also like the best though. Like Barry Bonds was the greatest. So like it's easy for people to point fingers and be like, well, you're not really the greatest because you cheated.
But he was the greatest before he even went.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. I mean,
I think he just jumped on and everybody was doing it.
Right.
So I want to be on the same playing field. Kind of like when Nolan Ryan, he was the first one that really had a strength program for pitchers back in the 80s with Tom House and throwing a football during warmups, this and that. And then other pitchers started doing it. Like, dude, he's doing it.
What percentage I gotta do this of players in the late 90s, early 2000s think we're doing it?
My percentage?
What percentage of players do you think were doing it?
70, 75.
Wow.
I mean, I actually was in the game when I was in the big leagues and the minor leagues, and I saw actually people do it. I actually never did it myself. I got really close. One little quick story. I was playing in Venezuela, Caracas, actually. And I had one of my coaches said, go down there, talk to the trainer, listen to him. You'll come back being really good. Had no idea what he meant because I'm kind of ignorant. Then I go down there and all the guys in the bullpen are, shooting themselves. And, the trainers were. The Latin trainer was, not the American trainer. And then, so I was down there and I was bummed out and I'm like, dude. So I went to the American trainer and I said, hey, what do I do? And he's like, you take Winstraw, but I don't do what our Latin guy does over here. And I said, okay, well, I talked to him. He goes, I don't have any more. When we get off this road trip, I'll have some more and I'll give you a cycle or two. And I said, okay. Well, we go on a 5-day road trip or whatever. And, in Venezuela, there's not phones everywhere, and cell phones were not what they were nowadays. They're not little computers, Blackberries. If anybody knows what a Blackberry is, that was really the computer. And I didn't have a Blackberry. I had a flip phone, or a Razor, as we called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually in the
good old Razor.
Museum. But anyway, so then I got off my road trip and I got to my hotel room, and there was a message, and it was my wife saying, our daughter that has Down syndrome, she was about a year old. She's having infantile spasms, seizures, come home now. And by the way, my father died. So my father-in-law passed away. My wife is trying to get a hold of me for 2 days, couldn't get a hold of me. And my daughter's having seizures. So I'm like, I'm a mess. I'm a wreck. I'm like, I got to get out of here. So it took me 2 days to get out of Venezuela, just because, there's not like flights right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of said it, that was an omen. Like my daughter or the Lord didn't want me to do it.
Right.
Took me 4 more years to get to the big leagues, but I still got there. But then, the whole Mitchell report came out, and then a couple years, 3 years in the big leagues, all of a sudden they started testing for steroids and, all the PEDs and stuff. So it was one of those things that I'm happy that I never did it. I probably could have been in the big leagues longer, or made money quicker, or maybe did well with the Mets. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can say I did everything all natural, but I was really close, and I could see how people get desperate. I mean, I had 3 kids. I was trying to defend for my family, and try to feed them. And I was barely seeing them, because I would go play winter ball for 3 months, come home for a month, go for the spring training, then the season for 5 months in the minor leagues, and then come home for a month and go play winter ball for 3 months. And then it was just a cycle for me, just to, cause I would make like 10,000 for the 5 months of professional, in the minor leagues. And then I would go overseas and make 10,000 in 3 months. Or no, I was making 10,000 each month. So I was making almost 30,000 in 3 months playing overseas, but I don't get to see my family. So, I could see how people get caught up in doing it, and they try to get that edge, and I don't blame them. But I always think it's funny how we always say Latin players, we understand why, but American players, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, we're held to higher standards, because we go to college and we go to high school, where over there they don't have to. All they have to do is just play baseball every day.
Was there any guys that you noticed that maybe were on the tail end of their career, or like had a decline in their career, and then they took it, and then they started to perform a lot better?
Yeah, I won't say names, but it was early in my career. I knew some guys were doing it, and that's the 37, 38-year-olds that were still like kind of the cream of their crop. And then if you just look at certain guys, and I'm not going to name names just because I don't think it's right. But, what was it? 04, 05, they came out and said, we're going to test. And if there's a problem, you won't be in trouble this year, but next year you will. A lot of guys had career years, that the 04, 05.
Yeah.
And then when you got in trouble for it, like in 06, I think it was, they fell off.
Mm-hmm. You can just do your research on who those guys are if you want at home, and see what the stats look like.
Well, like, I don't know about this player, but in what was it? It was 2010 with San Diego. We brought Lion Ludwig in.
Yep.
And we brought in
Tejada
at shortstop. And Tejada was an unbelievable player that kind of fell off. And if you know what I'm kind of hinting to, but great guy. Unbelievable guy. I will say that. And I wasn't around those times, so I can't really say it, but, just look at his numbers. You can speculate, but that's just, it's hearsay. But here's the thing is, I'm bringing those 2 guys up because Robinson Cano right now, we were a team where we had like Jerry Hairston and Scott Hairston and Chase Headley and guys that were not the best players, but they, I would get somebody would get 2 hits, and then he wouldn't get a hit. And then Jerry would play for him. And then all of a sudden then Jerry would start over Scott or, Chase or, who was, and we were like a lot of platoon guys, whatnot.
Mhm.
And then when we made those 2 trades, Ryan Ludwig played all the time in the outfield. Well, the 2 outfielders that were kind of platooning did not play anymore. And same thing happened with our infield. And all of a sudden we lost 10 in a row and the Giants caught us and ended up winning the World Series that year. But is this what's going to happen to the Padres right now? Cano's going to come over. He's going to get his at-bats, but now, Luke's probably not going to get his bats, or Robinson Cano is going to play DH and then possibly play second. So then is Conworth going to first base and Hosmer going to be at first, or which one is going to be the DH?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Kim going to go? What's this? It's just here, there. And then now we have less at bats for certain guys. And, I just don't like it.
As long as they define the role early on, I think just coming in on the league minimum, I think he probably knows that he's not going to be an everyday player. He's going to come off the bench, or he's going to play, every 3 games, every 4 games, like kind of similar to what Matt Beaty's been doing for us, except not in the outfield.
Beaty's going to be another guy who's going to get less playing time. And then here's the other part.
Fine, this is he sucks.
Okay. And I agree, but here's the one thing this is the one problem that I have with, I guess I have multiple problems, but remember I've been saying all season, define roles. We need to define roles. We haven't defined the bullpen yet. That's why I think the bullpen is slumping. I think the bullpen has a potential of being really good with the Padres, but I think we haven't defined roles. So therefore they're just out there. They don't know. We really haven't defined our roles, maybe because Bob was hurt, it was unhealthy, and then our defense is kind of the same way. Maybe that's why we're not hitting. Who's our starters and who's our bench guys?
Right.
It's okay to have 2 guys as a platoon. It's okay to have, like, say, Kim and CJ as our platoon shortstops, and whoever's hot is going to play. That's okay. Mm-hmm. But not to CJ, you're going to play short, but now you're going to be DH, or now you're going to play left field. And where is he? Like, we usually have one guy on the bench that is one or 2 guys that really, usually it's one that can pretty much do everything. But now we have 9 first basemen, and we got 30 outfielders, and we got 10 infielders, and we only have 14 guys on the team. It's like everybody plays everywhere except for Machado and Eric Hosmer.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it goes through our discussion from last week. It's just kind of how guys are these days, like in the league. Like, there's guys like Kike Hernandez and Chris Taylor and, the Ben Zobrist types that can, like the super utility that can play it all, that just spell people whenever they need days off. So,
but that's good. But
that's kind of what our team is constructed of right now.
But look at the Dodgers, and you bring up the Dodgers, right? Or you bring up Ben Zobrist. They had 4 nucleus guys at their position. Mm-hmm. And then you saw Ben give guys days off, but he was always playing. Same thing with the Dodgers. You see guys, they're core guys. You don't see I guarantee our players over the Dodgers, we play more positions per player, per game, or per season, or whatever I'm saying, than the Dodgers do. You have 3 guys on the Dodgers that give other people breaks and can play multiple positions. We have the whole team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And our players are not to that caliber. It makes sense? Like CJ, and I bring up CJ because I think he's a great talent, but he hasn't defined himself. He's not the guy yet.
Right. He needs time.
So he needs time on his position, and then you move him around because he's such a great athlete. Or you're like, okay, CJ, you're going to be our shortstop, and then Tatis comes back, and then you're such a great athlete and stuff. We're going to stick you in the outfield, and then he's in the outfield for the next 3 years.
Right.
But then, for some reason, Tatis gets hurt, or we trade him, or some stupid things happens, and then we put him back at short, and it's great because that's his natural position. I get that, but we're not doing that. It's almost like it almost feels like, to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, we're trying to put the best lineup to face the starting pitcher, and then we'll just find a position for him.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds about right. That sounds like what the Padres have done their entire organization under this management. I mean,
Yeah,
not management
under this
Bob Melvin,
management that I
under
don't like.
AJ Preller. Yeah, we'll see though. I mean, this is just it's so early in the season. You know, our record shows that we're a good team, but honestly, the numbers don't really translate. You said we're +8 in the run differential, so we just got to hold on a little bit longer until Tatis gets back. I know one player isn't going to change everything, but we do have Pomeranz coming back as well. Luis Castillo's coming back. There's guys, Adrian Morejon, Michelle Baez. I mean, that's bullpen support right there. So they just got to hold on a little bit longer to see if we can continue to win games because
But then
we're not
we
far
got to
out.
define roles. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
You got to define roles. But let me put it this way, and let me change it up. I know we're talking about the Padres right now, but the Angels. I've been hearing a lot about the Angels. You know,
They're
they
fun.
finally got some pitching. Is this the first year we kind of see Trout in the playoffs? Can they hold it? I know it's early.
I hope they can. It's good for baseball when the best player is playing and contending.
Yeah, I think it's great, but let's take it to the Padres. Are we just doing just good enough to be there? Or are we a good team that is just, you know, we're trailing the Dodgers because the Dodgers are like so good. And all we got to do is just, you know, hopefully they slip up or get hurt. And I'm supporting my kids' high school team, by the way.
Go Eagles. That's a great logo.
I know. I love this hat.
I had the G back in high school. It was just the old Green Bay.
Oh, I got the
Packers
G, but I stole this from my kid. He had
No,
two.
that's a good one though. I wish we had that one.
Nope. None of the parents have this except for me. So
nice.
Kind of cool.
I love it. No, the Angels are a lot of fun though. I mean, with Ohtani and Trout, who could honestly be number 1 and 2 in the MVP standings at the end of the year, with Syndergaard playing well, you know, Rendon is there. He hit a home run left-handed the other day. That was awesome. They just threw a hitter the other day.
That's what baseball's all about right there.
Just having
Position
fun,
player. You know? Okay, let me get up left-handed because you're having fun.
Who is the best position player that you've ever seen pitch?
Oh, you know, Adrian Gonzalez had nasty stuff, but he never pitched. But he always wanted to, but they never would let him.
They wouldn't let him, yeah.
No. Oh my goodness. I don't know because I was part of some really good bullpens that we never really had to do that.
Right.
You know, and I think it happens more often than none right now. I will say this in the minor leagues once. I can't remember their names. It was in AA. We were getting our butts kicked. And so our backup catcher went into pitch because, I mean, throwing down to second, he threw 94, 95 miles an hour. He pitched. He ended up giving up like 4 runs, maybe 1 out, right? And it was like a fly ball or something like that. And the coach walks out there, talks to him. As the catcher walks out too, right? Literally, the gear comes off and the pitcher puts the gear on and they switch and the starting catcher ends up pitching.
Oh my gosh.
Never seen that in baseball. Never even heard of that. They didn't switch gloves or anything. And it was just like, here's my glove. Here's my catching glove. Or here's my pitching glove. And none of those guys made it, but it was like, this is just pathetic. This is Little League. But anyway, that's what we were thinking.
That is honestly so funny. It's funny to see those little things.
Looking back, it's hilarious.
Oh, for sure. 100%. I mean, the Rendon thing is hilarious too. They just hit a home run left-handed. It's only a bat he's ever taken left-handed. He's got a 5,000 OPS right now hitting left-handed.
Yeah, I would never hit left-handed again.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't. He shouldn't.
But that's the thing. Why don't we, the game's out of whack, right?
Right.
And we're doing stuff like that. So and this is why I like Joe Madden. He allowed that to happen. I don't think some managers be like, no, you're going to get hurt, or management teams put some position players or put some pitchers out there to swing the bat.
I'm thinking that honestly, because we have the DH now, so pitchers don't hit, but when are we going to see pitchers have the ability to hit? I mean, the only thing I would say though, is like they're susceptible to injury if they
no, pitch, is Rendon swinging left-handed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're telling me a position player is not prone to get hurt?
No,
as much as a position.
He is. But like Rendon takes at bats every day, and if he gets hit by a pitch, he probably brushes it off. Opposed to a pitcher who doesn't take at bats every day.
Pitcher's literally throwing 60, 70 miles an hour.
I'm just saying if
It's
a
a
pitcher gets
position
out
player.
there,
What position player throws 90 miles an hour?
but you're telling me though, if a pitcher goes out there, takes an at bat and gets hit on the wrist, the manager is going to catch so much flack for that.
The manager would get so much flack if Rendon would have hurt himself.
Yeah, but does he have more chance of getting hurt hitting it left-handed than right-handed?
Well, I think he does. He has throwing arm there. But, here's the thing. You got a position player just lobbing it up. Now we're just playing baseball as a kid. You're just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's my whole thing. It's almost like I said a couple episodes ago, the team just gave up.
Yeah.
They're giving up. So if they're giving up, why don't we go out and just have some fun?
Right.
Like let's play all like we're 10 years old again and we're just playing instead of being real serious. So that's kind of,
they were also trying to preserve a no-hitter too. So
I know, but it's just, it's one of those things. Yep. Anyway.
Well, we got a nice road trip coming up. A lot of tough opponents. We'll see if the
Padres so okay. Let me ask you this. I told you last time we have Atlanta for 3, then we got Philly for 3, and then we got San Francisco. So out of those 9 games, what do we have to do for this road trip to be successful?
I think we got to win at least 5. Go 5-4 at least, at the very least. Hopefully go 6 or 7.
Now we need to win every series.
Yes.
So we need to have 6 wins.
Yep.
And that would say we're a really good team if we win 6 wins on this road trip. If we win 7 and win every series, then we're a playoff contention team. You heard it from me here, and I'll put money on it that if we win 7 on this road trip, we're a playoff team, and I'll take anybody's bet.
If you want to go put money on it, go to betonline.ag, who we're sponsored by.
Okay.
And use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, and get a free welcome bonus. That's our sponsor for this episode, folks.
Yeah, and I wasn't even plugging because I didn't even know that.
Well, that's called a good segue right there.
But think about it. We have Atlanta that, Atlanta's the world champions from last year, struggling a little bit. We got Philly that's kind of hot right now. And then we got San Francisco that's kind of lying in the weeds. They've won a couple games in a row. So they're kind of doing better than they have been, the past, last week they had a good week, but the previous week before that, they just kind of got shellacked and didn't have a good week. So they're kind of like a 500 team right now. So I think we're definitely should be able to beat them, especially they're in our division.
Right.
So Atlanta is definitely, Philly's, I think, going to be the tough road, but, gosh, we got to win every series if we're going to be a good team. And if to be a playoff team, we got to win 7 games.
Yeah, I agree.
And,
Heath Bell.
And one thing really quick, if we win 7 games, fans, if you can put on our Twitter handle or whatever, find out what we can do. If we win 7 games and we don't go to the playoffs, then you guys can see me do something funny or whatever. Hopefully it's not shave my beard because my daughter will be mad. But it's something else. And then
you gotta throw a live BP to somebody.
Well, I'll throw a live BP to anybody. We should have a contest at the end for fans right before playoffs. And we'll I'll find a field in San Diego or something, and we'll have a bunch of people come and take batting practice off me.
Hopefully you don't plunk anybody.
I'll only hit people that I choose to hit.
Okay. Heath Bell, thank you for joining me yet again for another great episode of Ring the Bell. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at HeathBell21, at Nick_Kreider. Make sure to check out the Cherry Stripe, the sister podcast of this show. And as always, go Pods.
Go Padres.